10 most insane police
The
chases.
10 most insane police chases on the internet.
Let's see what they
Make sure to
got.
drop a like and try not to run away from the cops, or else you'll end up like number 10.
Okay, what's number 10 looking like?
Okay, so what really sets his first chase off for most is the fact that not only are the cops chasing down a literal school bus, but its driver is actually a student at the very school from which the bus was stolen from. Airing on A&E's Live PD, this juvenile driver was barely old enough to be behind the wheel, let alone handling a 26-passenger bus.
Bro thinks this is the battle bus or something. He's fucking pumping
Considering he
through.
was already bound to be charged, this young driver decided to swerve all over the road, at one point
Almost
even heading
swerving
into
that corner.
oncoming traffic.
Oh.
However, rather than colliding with the traffic on the other side of the road, our bus thief decided to go for a different target.
We need to pump train to the cops. Oh no!
Yeah, thankfully nobody was seriously injured in this crash, and the kid was apprehended by police shortly afterwards.
God.
If this kid ever wanted to steal a car again, let's just hope he looks for a game like GTA for his thrills rather than actually doing it in real life. But anyways, on to number 9. As far as police chases go, it's not uncommon to see a biker who isn't really keen on following speed limits enforced on highways.
So
This
he's
driver,
just
though, he
speeding.
wanted to do a little more than go fast, as he evaded police custody, and rather than keeping his eyes on the road and attempting to truly escape the cops, he kinda wanted to show off a little.
So he's just
High-speed chase, but when he put his feet on the seat, that was more than some could stand.
he's gonna surf on his bike.
Look at this.
That's fucking crazy.
I mean, I guess if he's going to jail anyway, he might as well make it a ride worth talking about once he gets put behind bars.
Yeah.
The crazy part is, the culprit in question actually thought it was strange that the police tried to kick him off his bike during his joyride. Regardless of
Trying
if
to
he
kick him
agreed
off
with
the
it or not,
bike.
the guy was inevitably caught and promptly paid the price for his reckless antics.
Old Philip Resendez
Oh, well, they
was
got him,
arrested for
which is
felony
after he was
evading
pumped
and
around
driving
surfing
the
on his
wrong
dam.
way.
What do you mean you didn't endanger anybody? You were standing on your bike going 100 miles per hour.
At the end of the day, nobody was hurt.
And
the
they're
guy
in the
apologized
fucking,
to his
he's
two
back in the
daughters
car,
before
they're
being
chasing him
booked
down
his
for a
crimes.
fucking
Well, if
post-match
you walk away
interview.
with a one-of-a-kind story to tell, I doubt it was
That's
worth the time
stupid.
spent in jail. Number 8. Imagine you're out on a family road trip,
Yeah, let's imagine.
RVing across the
Yeah,
country.
just close
You
your
stop
eyes.
at a place to rest and relax when some crazy lady hops in your RV and,
It was a
Imagine
demolition
that.
derby.
Oh my gosh. Look at this.
A chunk
Bro,
of the
look at
RV
that.
was ripped away.
to make matters worse here, the lady
What are you even doing in a situation like that? You just see him pump around, you're like, oh, you got a fucked up RV. That definitely needs to go to customs. Look at that.
brought her 2 dogs in the vehicle with her while she went for a dangerous joyride,
Two
and it gets
dogs.
really scary when one of the dogs does this.
Don't tell me he
Those
jumps
dogs.
out.
There's Fido out there. On the
He's
front
staring
there,
out of the
front
gaping hole. Even the dog can't
just
believe it.
making out what once
He's
was
had
the
enough.
train.
Out he goes.
Fido's ready to
Oh my God.
I mean, thankfully the pup limps away, but if this woman wasn't already in enough trouble with the police, considering her dog jumped out like that, I'm sure she's catching flack from PETA as well.
Oh,
She goes on
definitely.
to ram into other vehicles, leaving a trail of destruction before one crash makes her chase come to a screeching halt. The only serious injury was to the pup that jumped from the car, who then had to wear a pair of casts on its front and back legs until making a recovery. If this lady is ever allowed to drive away again, I just hope that she decides to keep the pooch far away from any of the action. Number 7.
Oh, poor.
If you were ever trying to outpace and escape the police, I'd imagine some of us would do just about anything to get away.
Yeah.
Whether that be driving along the same highway at high speeds for hours on end, or even doing something as insane as boarding a moving train.
Had to stop for this train.
No way.
Following this, now
The person
just
got out and ran. It looks like
right next
somebody
to the
else is
train
in the back of the
tracks.
vehicle too. But again, this person has jumped out running on foot.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you've got to commend this guy's resolve in not getting caught.
I mean, fair enough.
Really, who here can honestly say that they would chase down a moving train just to board it in an attempt to evade the cops? Like, the man just sneaks aboard the scrap train and rides it for a while before ditching it to
does he
take
get-
off on foot.
There
Did
in
you
the
get
back
caught
seat as
though?
well. But again, this person running right along the railroad
Because
tracks.
he's just running
very
to
close
jump on this
there.
fucking
You almost
train.
wonder if he's going to try to jump onto the train right there.
While the other 2 folks in the back of his car had already been apprehended by this point, this guy just kept on running until he was inevitably caught by police.
Oh, no
later
way,
that
they
day.
caught him.
Well, obviously none of us can condone his actions. I'm sure we can all respect the effort put in by this guy trying to
Hey,
escape.
I
The man
respect the
literally
effort.
jumped onto a moving train. Number 6. If there's one thing we've all done while playing the Grand Theft Auto series, it's easily spinning out and crashing during a police chase.
Oh.
Naturally, the main vehicles following you are, of course, police cruisers, and while some of us just grab another
They're
pedestrian's
playing there.
car, the rest of us run straight for a cop car instead. So when this guy totaled the first vehicle he stole, the next
The first
closest
vehicle
car just so
car.
happened to be that of the very officers who were meant to apprehend him.
Control smart cookies in general.
No way they just leave their keys in there, but
Oh,
surely.
No.
This did not happen.
No.
Suspect
This
is
did
now
not
commandeered a
happen.
CHP
He's
car.
in a
Somehow he manages to evade the cops and even take off with one of their cruisers, and that's not even the worst of it.
To the
Does he
woman
get
who
away?
ran
Does he
into
get-
these, both leaving
Definitely.
their cars.
And there's another
there's that
officer
car.
that's just clueless. He doesn't even know.
He doesn't know.
Bro.
Do they not
doesn't
have
know.
He's
I mean, you can't really
caught
blame
in
the
plain
officer who
sight.
keeps on going here. Like, how in the world would you ever expect that your
Bro, it's
peers
just-
would let a suspect get away and
Bro, it's
with
just
one of their
hiding
own
in plain
vehicles?
sight. That is
Well,
crazy.
I say get away, but the chase only continued on for like another 20 minutes before the crook was arrested.
Oh, they got
So
him.
while his maneuvers were pretty tactical, they didn't exactly pay off in the end. Number 5. The typical signs of a police chase are cars moving rapidly at high speeds, while occasionally causing a bit of havoc and even
Fast
some
and
destruction
Furious.
while trying to evade custody. For this chase, though, we're
There's
veering off on
Brian.
a different path. Rather than stepping down on the gas as hard as he could, this driver opted to do the exact opposite.
Car chase, but this one may be the slowest ever. Fort Worth police
Bro, it's
followed
just
the white
pumping,
Nissan
man.
for more than 2
Slow as shit.
hours. The suspect in no hurry to escape. Crowds
Why are
of
they
gawkers
just slowly
gathered
following
on
him too? That's the
You ever hear
funnier
the song
part.
Slow Ride? It kind of does indicate to take it easy, but this takes the lyric to a whole new level. This driver even cultivates a crowd waving to those behind the road, acting as if it was his like own parkway parade.
Iron,
While
does
this
he give
guy
up?
lives it up, he's got those police trailing at a similar speed until eventually the driver decides to kick it into high gear.
Oh no,
Went
now
the
he's
wrong
pumping up.
way down an access road to get back on the interstate. Then enough is enough.
Now he's
a police
pumping
SWAT
through.
car performed a pit maneuver and rammed the back of the suspect's car, causing it to slam into a concrete median.
After he's detained by police, it was revealed that the car was chock full of methamphetamine and that the driver was, of course, under the influence. And that probably
Oh, no
explains why he
way.
eventually tried to make a break for it. Number 4. So far on this list, we've seen people try to escape the police on trains and RVs and
Yeah,
even in
so what-
other
how can we
officers'
top
cars.
that?
However, one thing we've yet to see and will likely not see for some time is a culprit trying to get away on his longboard.
Traffic crossing the longboard. And then came a move worthy of a movie, if only it had worked. For 5 seconds, the suspect tried to skateboard away from officers in hot pursuit on foot.
Before
Oh,
all this,
no
the man
way.
was being pursued by police in a car he'd previously stolen before crashing
then he-
into the back
yeah,
of
he
another
crashed
driver's
and then he
vehicle.
jumped
Knowing
out.
he'd be caught if he did nothing, he did the first thing that came to his mind and tried to carve his name in the history books by attempting his own
Well, he
version
did.
of the
I
Great
reckon he
Escape.
ca-
With that in
carved his
mind,
name in
though,
there
if
pretty
I were
well.
this guy, I probably would have just thrown it away and ran as fast as I could, but then again, regardless of what method he used, there
Hey,
was
I
no
wouldn't wanna
escaping the
lose.
long arm of the law.
Police were closing in. The same red pickup cut him off and practically pinned him.
Whoa! Who's that guy?
Next time he decides to try and evade the police, I just hope he brings something a little quicker than a longboard as a backup.
Probably gets a
plan.
jetpack next
Number
time.
3.
Taking these
In most police
constructive
chases, people
criticisms.
start in a car and end up running on foot, but this chase begins on foot as the criminal was originally caught and was being treated on a stretcher near an ambulance. But
So he just
right
gets
before
up
he
and
was
leaves.
processed and cuffed, he opted to jump up and take
Oh,
the
no
emergency
way.
vehicle for a spin.
Police say they shot him 3 times as he reversed and hit 2 officers in uniform. For
Shot
almost
him
90
3
minutes,
times,
Gavrowski
and he's still-
leads
he's
police
still
on a
going
tour
on.
of Frankfurt and Cotman Avenues and side streets around the boulevard.
It takes a special kind of person to take an ambulance, vehicle typically used for transporting the sick or injured, and instead use it as a getaway car. Then again, considering he was going to be charged for assault anyway, it makes his desperate attempt at escape seem
Does
a
it?
little more understandable.
Does it
But
though?
regardless of whatever vehicle he decided to steal, it was bound to need a tow after the chase.
For 4 minutes, he tries to get in front of Gavrowski. His persistence pays. He flattens a front tire before spinning out.
Finally got the right tire, and
Oh,
he
no,
still was
there he
going
goes.
down like 15 miles an hour.
Yeah, this tow truck driver is definitely a hero for his actions here, because shortly after he popped the guy's front right tire, a spike strip finished the job, making it easy for the police to get
Now
the
they get
criminal
him.
back in custody. And while the chase only went on for like 20 minutes or so, it definitely would have lasted much longer if it weren't for this truck driver
Yeah,
showing
that-
up to work
that
early.
tow truck
Talk about dedication.
Didn't do his fucking thing.
Number
It would have
2.
been cool.
All right, if you can't tell by now, these chases come in all shapes and sizes, but the very last person you'd ever expect to see behind the wheel, well, are little kids. In the case of this 7-year-old, he had his first encounter with the law on a bright Sunday morning.
Weber County Sheriff's patrol car as the deputy followed the boy, unaware of just how young that driver was. It was a wild ride, but the little guy never went over 35.
And while you can't really tell that it's a kid with him just driving along,
He's
it gets a
driving
lot
pretty
easier
good.
to see once he pulls up to his family's driveway.
They'll never find me under the bed.
And if I were to categorize the boy's skill as a driver,
The kid just ran right inside and told his dad that the cops were outside without giving him literally any context. So when the officer
cops
went
are
ahead
e-
and told the dad what his son had been up to before church, she was just as confused as any of us probably would be in that situation. I mean, in all fairness to the kid, when I was young, I remember always wanting to know how it felt to kind of like jump behind the wheel of a car. And while nowadays it's become a regular part of life for most of us, to this 7-year-old it must have been an exhilarating
it was pumping,
experience.
man.
I mean,
Joyriding.
fair play to the kid. Honestly, it's just impressive that he came out of it uninjured and that he actually managed to drive pretty well for
Yeah,
being
no.
7.
Yeah, he's
Next
pumping
time,
through.
let's just hope he waits until he's at least 16 before taking his folks' car out for a spin.
Wait another 9 years and he's fucking great to go.
Finally
Really.
coming in at our number 1 spot, we're taking a look across the pond to a pursuit that happened in London, England.
Oh,
Conventionally,
London.
if you're trying to escape police custody, your vehicle of choice would usually be something small and fast, right? Well, for this intoxicated driver, he opted for something with a little more destructive power to go about on his rampage.
Overtaken. It's just prior to the north end sort of roundabout.
Oh no, he's still got. Oh, did he just jump out?
Like I mentioned before,
No,
our
he
driver
didn't.
here is under the influence, meaning that he likely has no regard
I
for
thought that
anyone
he-
else on the road. With that in mind, you can imagine he's not exactly the most careful when trying to avoid the very cops that are chasing him.
Yeah, I know, he's a bit.
Yeah, it's still got an officer. You need to get yourself out of sight. If he sees you, he'll go for you. He already has done once before.
He goes on to hit several other police cruisers along his trail
That-
of carnage. You see what I did there? Okay, kind of cringe.
Alright,
Well,
get
anyway,
out.
of course, the driver was inevitably caught by police, but not before he caused plenty of damage to all those police cars
Not
who
before he
decided
did
to
all
get in
the
the
work
way of
first.
his 12-ton dump truck destruction. Thankfully, that was the majority of the damage caused by this insane chase, and fortunately for everyone involved,
Okay,
no
well,
one...
the video's basically done. Thanks for watching. That was crazy. All them police chases with the fucking dump trucks and the spike traps and shit. That was fucking crazy. But hey, subscribe if you like what you see and like the video if you haven't already. I know you haven't. Like it. Come on now. I'll see you guys in the next one.